Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and Director Blair. Thank you for your courtesy and responsiveness to me over these last few months. A number of senators on both sides of the aisle are very concerned about cyber terror, and you've referred to it, colleagues have referred to it. And I want to start my questioning in this area by your assessment of how vulnerable is the U.S. power grid to cyber attack.
I think a lot of things have been done in the power grid recently with the realization of its vulnerability. A couple of years ago, I'd say it was a piece of cake to people even with quite low skills because of the emphasis on it. It's not down at that level. However, a very skilled attack by a group that really knew what it was doing could cause us some problems. So there's a great deal more work that has to be done there.
I'm also concerned that the development of the smart grid could create more potential vectors for cyber attack. Do you share that view?
I think in building a smart grid, Senator, we have to take security into account right from the beginning. And as you know, anytime you centralize and make efficient and cut your margins, you open up vulnerabilities, not only to just stuff happening, but also to malicious attack like cyber. So I don't know the technical details of the SCADA systems and the interconnections of the smart grid, but if we don't build in a more robust cyber defense from the very first building block, we're leaving ourselves wide open.
In your view, Director, are there any terrorist groups capable of mounting a significant cyber attack on our country today?
When I think of the things that terrorist groups can do to us, Senator Wyden, the cyber capability is not the one in which I feel they have the greatest skills for the greatest destruction. I think that they have other terrible things they can do to us that they are working on harder, they're better able to do, and they seem to be more motivated to do. So it's possible, but I don't think the combination of terror and cyber is the nexus that we are most worried about.
Let me turn to another subject, if I could. I've been very concerned about the potential for violence against Iraqi translators that are currently working for our military. It's been important that these individuals' identities be kept secret so they aren't subject to reprisals and retribution from anti-American groups inside the country. I've worked with the Defense Department in this regard to try to protect these translators with masks. DOD has tried to work with our office. But I'm also concerned about the possibility that anti-American elements of Iraqi government ministries might seek to uncover these translators' identities by accessing tax records or other government information. How would you assess right now the seriousness of this, and particularly, can you tell us anything about ministries or other elements of the Iraqi government that the translators ought to be concerned about?
Senator Wyden, I know the threat to translators is real. I have friends from the armed forces who personally took steps to get translators out of Iraq because it was so dangerous to them. Overall situation is much better now. I was not aware of the particular problem of Iraqi government records being a potential source to identify them, which could be used to as the basis for making attacks on them. I'll have to take a look into that and get back to you. But the general principle of making sure that those who helped us through providing and translating services is the right one, and we need to help them.
I'd appreciate a prompt answer on that, Director, because I am concerned about the possibility of these anti-American elements looking at yet other strategies to make life difficult for our translators. These translators are performing a great service in terms of advancing American security in a very difficult arena, and I appreciate your interest. Let me ask you a question, if I could now, about Iran. Obviously, members of this committee are following the Iranian presidential election, and it's certainly my hope, I'm sure shared, that President Ahmadinejad gets replaced by a more stable and more rational individual. But of course, in Iran, the president is not the commander-in-chief, and his influence over foreign policy is more limited than perhaps many political systems. Is it your view that a change in president would result in a significant shift in Iranian foreign policy? And let's start particularly with the prospect that a replacement of President Ahmadinejad would result in a shift in nuclear policy.
Senator, I don't believe that a change of a single individual as president would change in and of itself a fundamental Iranian policy like development of nuclear weapons. I think that those decisions are taken by the groups around the supreme leader, which is more than one person. So I think that we can't put our hopes in Iran on great changes to their policy towards the United States based on the presidential election itself.
I think you've touched on this, but what can you say in a public setting with respect to Iran's current support for Hamas and Hezbollah, and what does Iran get out of providing this support in your judgment?
I would say there are at least two motivations for Iran's support of these groups. One of them is to seize control of the resistance narrative within the Middle East, as opposed to the peace narrative, which is what we and many others favor. Iran seeks to associate itself, even though it's Persian, with the Arab cause against Israel. It feels that will benefit its power in the region. And the second one is fundamentally, I think they don't like Israel, and anything that they can do to help somebody that's going against Israel is sort of good in their mind. So I would say those two things motivate them.
I share your view. Madam Chair, thank you.